Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, May 25th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarification points. Number one, the price you see over here will be changing, and the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ENVB, and I like this one quite a bit because there's a nice solid pattern here that you got to think a lot of people are watching. So as I draw this pattern in play, please realize I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that this is some great discovery on my part or special talent. In fact, it's the exact opposite. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic levels. Dynamic movement. So let's keep this all in color and make it hopefully easier to see. We have this resistance red line, we have the support green line. And what was going on before this downwards pullback here? Well, you had this big old explosion in the upwards direction, which has now allowed the ability to draw this bull flag pattern. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price can come up here and get a push up through the top part of that pattern, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. So again, no guarantees, but that's certainly a plausible dynamic, especially when you start to sprinkle in that whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies. Next one here, UTRS, and this is no doubt about it, an ugly looking chart to think that at one point the price was all the way up here and now it's dropped and dropped and dropped. But for you longer time viewers, you've heard me say it again, there can be opportunity in the ugly. So if one of those people that like to play these situations where there's certainly a big deep pullback, then this is what would fit that bill very clearly. But you got to remember, if you're not good at risk management, if you refuse to honor stop losses, then these sorts of situations can be very dangerous because, yeah, there's a lot of downwards momentum. Yeah, the price is falling, and as I squeeze down the chart, you can see that it's still got some, wiggle room to fall even further. But an interesting level is the top part of this former channel, which sits down here right around 28 cents. Now, as I've said, are there guarantees? No. So you can't say that the price is going to come down there and for sure bounce. But is it at least plausible? Is it at least valid that the price could come down there, test, or in better terminology, back test that former area and then get a bounce up through there? Absolutely. But again, to be fair, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it comes down here and then just continues to crash. And that's what I mean by stop losses. Risk management matters. But from a risk reward scenario, meaning even if you do get a decent bounce relative to what was being risked in the first place, you could be looking at a very good situation there. So like I said, if you like to play these situations where things are ugly and you want to see them get a bit more ugly before you get a nice little risk reward scenario, definitely keep an eye on it. And this is also a penny stock. So if you like to play penny stocks, here you go. Next one, NIO. And first off, just to point out, got a nice bounce here from an area that makes sense why it did bounce, which sits down here at the 775 mark. I say that because if you look back here, you can see the price has bounced from there before. So, I mean, just a great example here of the power of charts. In fact, for anybody that noticed that level of support, congratulations, you got yourself a very nice entry point. But as I speak right now, you can see that very, very impressive bounce in the upwards direction. So no doubt about it, the bulls seem to be showing up, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And I realize that just words. What do you mean work needs to be done? Well, in two ways. The first bit of quote unquote work is going to be the price has got to get back up through that pink line there, 200 period moving average, currently valued at, let's just call it $8.15. And then the even more important bit of quote unquote work is going to be that purple line up there, the 50 period moving average, right now valued at $8.35. So those are going to be the two main areas that you're going to want to watch moving forward. And if the price can get up through both of those, again, even at that point, there's still going to be more work that needs to be done. But that would, definitely start to turn things around after a very nasty gap down here. But all in all, like I said, the critical part, at least in my opinion, was this level holding there. Had the price come down there and then just blasted down through there, that really, transitions and changes the chart in, several ways. But it held, bounced, getting a nice bounce right now. So let's see if this momentum carries into Thursday. Next one, PLTR, and this is a little tricky to talk about because it really depends on your perspective, meaning if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad because there has indeed been this bigger pullback right here. However, if you care about the bigger picture point of things, and I'm not saying this will occur, but let's just say for argument's sake, the price pulls back even more and goes down to that level down there around 1150. Even if it were to go down there, well, let's look at where the previous low was, right there. And where's the previous low after that? Right there. What about the previous low from there? Right there. And then you look down here. And if you envision each one of those as stair steps, what do you have? Emphasis on big picture. Well, from the big picture point of view, you'd still very clearly have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So like I said, even if the price and this pullback gets even worse, from a big picture point of view, you still have plenty of opportunity to build and continue on with the overall uptrend. So like I said, yes, I understand. And if you're a day trader and you bought right there, the chart looks really, really bad. However, if you care about more than just a single day, looking here, you can see there's still plenty of opportunity to continue on with the overall uptrend by building those higher bases. Next one, AMC, and another rough day here as the price broke down through lows. In fact, just to put that in a play to map out more context, you had that low from back here on May 17th at the $4.87 mark. Price broke below it, but to be fair, it actually did get a bit of a bounce, but this is just based on foundational rules and charting. When levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So moving forward, my big question is, yeah, the price is at this 487 mark, but can the price ultimately get enough strength to push up through it and then stay up above it? So that'll be the initial question. Now, if the price does get up through there and stays above it, then we have the next big question, which is going to be all about that purple line there, 50-period moving average, which you can see already acted as resistance right there from this morning. So, one step at a time, one bit of work at a time. Like I said, first bit of work, price has got to get above, stay above 487. Then the price has got to get up to that 50-period moving average and push up through there. And if it can do that, then again, still a lot more stuff needs to happen, more work needs to be done. But that would certainly be a very, very impressive, move in the right direction. As far as levels of support, nothing fancy or complicated here. Quite literally just a question of where did the bleeding stop today? And the bleeding stopped down there at $4.80. So for that reason and that reason alone, it's going to be where the key level of support is. But yeah, no doubt about it. Nice bounce this afternoon. Does it continue and carry into Thursday? Let's see what happens. Real quickly, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then certainly get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, GCT, and general idea as the one previously about, yeah, this looks pretty ugly as the price dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. But this is also where things get interesting because, yes, the price did drop quite a bit. But then notice what happened. The price started to go sideways right there at $7.65. And let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there's a big drop, and then just because the price started to go sideways, does not mean for sure guaranteed, oh, this thing is the bottom and it's going to bounce. There are no guarantees. But my point is it at least now plausible to think that this sideways action symbolizes some sort of bottom? Yeah, absolutely. Case in point, let's just say the price was still dropping, and I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this is the bottom. You'd be completely justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally just going straight down. But that's not the case here. It's at least gone sideways. So once more, does that guarantee that it is a bottom? No, but has it become a little bit more rational to conclude that it could be some sort of bottom? Absolutely. So keep an eye on 765 as that main area of support, and then in terms of levels of resistance, right up there at $8.45, going to be that key level to watch. And if it can break up through there, then it'll be interesting to see if that can, bring in another round of momentum. Next one here, EEIQ. I'm going to go very quickly through this one because you just heard me say it, all just on a different stock. So big pullback here. Prices started to go sideways. So does that guarantee bottom? Absolutely not. You just heard me talk about that. So $2 is going to be that main level of support. And then in terms of the level to watch and see if it can be broken and then see if that generates some additional momentum right there at $2.32. So keep an eye on that dynamic right there. But like I said, same exact premise as the one we just talked about. So to respect your time, I'm not going to sit here and repeat myself, but same general idea. So let's see if this is indeed some sort of bottom and then if this thing's getting ready to curl back upwards. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And what I really like about this one is there's become a very well-defined level, and that has everything to do with that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, which just follows perfectly with the rules of charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, which is what happened this morning, you expect that level to act as resistance. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Look at this. Acted as resistance. Bounce again. Acted as resistance. Bounce up again as I speak. Acting as resistance. So that does not mean that the price can never, ever get back up above that area. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is now struggling at that purple line, which brings about, kind of the top of the priority list in terms of, okay, that's a big question mark moving forward for Tesla is can the price first off get above that 50-period moving average? And then secondarily, there we go, can the price stay above that level? So keep an eye on that dynamic from the resistance side of things. In terms of levels of support, if the price does come back down, first key level to watch right there at 181.50. And then if the price really gets out of control, then the price could very well come down to that area right there around the 178 mark, which did a very good job holding strong today. Going back to the history of things, you can see it's acted as support before. So a classic example there on the power of charts. So I'll turn that into a quick plug. Get signed up for that free class. Next one here, AMZN. What I like about this is, let me make sure, but I'm pretty sure the chart is in the middle of a breakout right now. Yeah, exactly. So there we go. Check out this trend line, which the chart has done a great job of respecting. So by using those two lines, did a fantastic job of forecasting that area of resistance, and then a small one right there. And then right there is where the price finally got the breakout, which allows us to now ask a very exciting question of, is this breakout the start of something even bigger? Now think about that question. You can't ask that question unless something worthwhile has happened in the first place. If nothing worthwhile happens, and you can't say, wow, is this the start? Well, nothing ever happened. But in this situation, the breakout happened. So sure, you could argue, well, Clay, then you already missed the breakout. And that's true. That's fair. You have missed the breakout. But if this is a much bigger breakout and there's a whole lot more momentum that's still to come, well, then there's still going to be more opportunities along the way. So that doesn't mean that just because it's broken out, it will continue up. It could completely roll back over. But again, that's a two-sided coin because, well, if this is the start of something bigger and it keeps ripping and roaring, well, then you're still going to have plenty of opportunity along the way. So if you do like these scenarios where a breakout has happened, but then you get to ask the fun question, okay, is the breakout the start of something even bigger? Then keep an eye on Amazon. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. And overall, got some interesting dynamics here. So let's first start off with levels of support. So in the very near term, seems to be an area of support, and I want to get this trend line in play right there to keep an eye on moving forward. Now, if you're a short or bearish or whatever, I would say, even if the price comes down here and breaks through that level, I would be very, very careful. Why do I say that? Because not that far away from that level of support, you have an even bigger area of support, the very famous 200 period moving average right there at that pink line right there. Now, from the bearish perspective, if the price comes down here, breaks through that level, and then breaks through the 200 period moving average, at that point, that would be signaling that, yeah, wow, the bears are getting very, very strong. But all I'm saying is if you are some sort of bearish-minded trader, I'd be very skeptical and with the logic of, oh, good, that trend line's broken. Oh, good, the bears are in control. Because that moving average right there might have a different opinion than you. So just keep that in mind in terms of whether or not that level is broken. But just from a general technical perspective, I would say those are the two near-term areas of support. In terms of levels of resistance, first key level, which is where I think it got rejected from, almost right there at $30.75. Again, just basic idea of that was a former area of support. Now the price is below it, you'd expect it to act as resistance, which it kind of did right there. And even if the price breaks above there, now the exact opposite is true. If you're bullish, yeah, that's good, but don't get too confident because not that far away, looming up ahead, is that 50 period moving average, which could very well act as resistance. So both sides have kind of a warning. I mean, sure, get a little excited, but don't get overly excited. Once more for the shorts, don't get overly excited because you have that moving average looming down below. From the long side of things, don't get too overexcited because up above, you have that moving average looming as an area of resistance. But overall, those are going to be the two main dynamics that I'd keep a close eye on. But overall, interesting late day movement here. So we'll see how it plays out on Thursday. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be very soon, Thursday, May 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these videos, if you'd like for me to continue to make these, then please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Even if you tell me what you traded today or what you're watching tomorrow, but those two things help out the channel, help out the algorithm, and I really do thank you for it in advance. So like I said, get signed up for that class, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.